young. She died instantly of massive blunt force trauma. Two of the other passengers in the car were thrown from the car. They were in serious condition and they were taken to Vanderbilt Hospital. Megan graduated from Beech High School in the year 2000. She loved Beech High School. She used to tell me all the time how she wished she could do it all over again. And I would say, oh honey, nobody wants to do high school over again. Maybe college, but not high school. But not Megan. She always wanted to do those years over again. She loved her friends. She loved all of her teachers. She loved Mr. Cardwell. She loved all the sports. She loved softball, Coach Utley. She loved basketball, Coach Walker and Coach Joins. She loved DECA and all the other clubs she was involved in. She loved pep rallies, powder puff football, and she loved sleeping on the football field her senior year. She loved playing Hendersonville in football, basketball, softball, baseball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, and she loved beating Hendersonville in football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer, tennis. Megan was a remarkable young lady. She just had this wonderful love of life that you couldn't help but see every time she smiled. She was bright, she was pretty, and she was so very, very happy. I can honestly say, I believe I only saw Megan cry maybe 5 times during her life. The child was just never sad. In fact, if I was having a bad day, sometimes she kind of even got on my nerves. I thought, this child is just way too perky. My family used to joke, and they would say all the time when we would get together for those family dinners, it sure was good to be Megan. She was such a light in our home, and the night she died, that light went out. We've seen a lot here today, and all the people that worked so very hard to pull this off, to make it seem so real to you, have done an awesome job. But the truth is, reality is much, much uglier than this. This was loud, and it was scary, and it was sad. But the real truth is, guys, if you choose to drink and drive, or if you choose to get into a car with a drunk driver and you die, you're not going to end up at the hospital. You're going straight to the coroner's office in a body bag. That's what happened to Megan. She wasn't even able, she was an organ donor. That meant a lot to her. There was nothing viable inside her body. We never saw her again until she was at the funeral home. They had started a new policy in Nashville, and they wouldn't let you actually see the person's body. They told my husband and I, before they did the autopsy, we could come and we could see a video of her body. But we just didn't think we could do that. So we never saw her again until she was at the funeral home. By then, she looked so totally different. I didn't even recognize my own daughter when they opened up the coffin. We didn't want people to remember her that way, so we asked that the coffin be closed during her service. In fact, her brother's exact words were, "We let her brothers both see her a last time." And they said, "Mom, Sis was hot, and she doesn't look hot anymore. And please don't let people come in here and look at her like this." That's what drinking and driving has done to entirely too many families. Megan died on a Friday, a week before Christmas. It was the Friday that Sumner County Schools got out a half day for Christmas break. She had had car trouble the night before. She had a job while she was at MTSU working at Cool Springs Mall. She called her daddy when the mall closed, and she said, "Daddy, I can't get my car started. I need you to come pick me up." I stayed on the phone with her because she was by herself, and her father went to pick her up. They sat in her daddy's truck from 10 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning. They needed a tow truck, and they called 5 or 6 different towing companies, and everybody said, "We'll be there in an hour," but nobody ever showed. So finally, at 3 o'clock in the morning, they decided to leave the car abandoned and to come on home. I felt my husband fall into the bed about 4 o'clock in the morning. A few minutes later, I heard Megan on his side of the bed. She kissed her daddy on the cheek and said, "Daddy, I love you, and thank you for coming to pick me up." And I heard him say, "I love you too, Meg, and you're welcome." That's the last time he saw Megan.